Hey guys, Kevin the Comic Doctor here. How you doing? Coming to you live after how many weeks, how many months, how many years? No, it's been a few weeks, guys. Hi guys, Kevin the Comic Doctor here, comic presser from Oshawa, Ontario. Remember me? I used to come on here once a week to do live unboxings. That's right. It's been a few weeks, guys, and yeah, it's been a very rough couple of weeks. Been pretty under the weather, and I'm starting to finally. I'm on the other side of it. I'm starting to feel a bit better now. So I've had these couple of boxes here going back a few weeks. I kept postponing my show after show after show, and now we're back. So again, guys, if you're new here, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I'm a comic book presser. I'm also an authorized PSA and CGC dealer located way up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And like I said, this is a live CGC unboxing. Today, I'm also going to talk to you guys a little bit about PSA grading. I'm going to give you an update about, how that's going to look moving forward, because there was a bit of confusion, especially for me, regarding how I was going to approach offering that service to clients. And I think I finally, with the help of PSA, kind of hammered it out and figured out how we're going to move forward for comics and cards. It's two different animals. And I'll explain all that a little bit later. I'll also give you some updates on CGC, what's happening over there. I had another bit of a mix-up this week, which caused a certain amount of stress, but it was all fixed, thank goodness. And hopefully I'll see a bunch of you come in here, because I haven't seen a lot of you in a long time. Who's here right now? We've got Lord Thoth. How you doing, Lord Thoth? How's it going out in Ottawa? Mikey here. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Tyler's here. Progressive Stagnation is here. Merry Christmas, Kevin. All the best to you. Thank you very much. You as well. Yo, Luis Mendoza is in the house. Johnny's here as well. Merry Christmas to you as well, my friend. Mark. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Thanks for clearing that up. All these aliases, it's hard for me to remember who is who. DG Byrne, great to see you as well. Toronto Graham, how you doing? Snowing and cold. It's kind of warm here. We were my wife and I were in Niagara on the Lake last night and today. It's pretty, just above, hovering above zero. They were calling for snow. There's a lot of fog here today because of all the snow that's melting. So I guess you got the cold weather out in Ottawa. Better you than me. All right, let's get to it. Let me show you what we got here. And by the way, I have a lot of books at CGC right now. I'm talking a ton of books. And yeah, things are kind of slow over there. I'm not seeing a lot of books. I'm going to get inundated with boxes soon. That is for sure. But let me show you what I've got here. What do we got? We got a 9.8 copy. But I always like to start with 9.8. You know that, guys. We got a 9.8 copy of X23 #1, Rose Besh and Daphne Keene authenticated. Very cool. Rose Beth sketch, Daphne Keene's signature with her right there. Daphne Keene signed in silver. Nice. 9.8. Gotta like that. And then we have another 9.8. We have Arthur Art Adams authenticated autograph. Very cool magic cover. Very cool. Very nice. 9.8. Then we have another one. This one's Robot and Girl. Why is it sticking there? Robot and Girl. Kale New, I guess. Authenticated. Right there in a 9.8. Very, very nice. Lord Thoth, we were supposed to be in Toronto today, but Lady Thoth is in bed. Yeah, buddy, I know the feeling. It's going around my household. I tell you, it wasn't, everyone thought I had a bad cold. No, man, I've been struggling with my blood pressure. I mentioned on the show before, since September. And I had a couple of bad evenings where it spiked high. 2 times caused me to go to the ER to make sure I was going to be okay. Last time it happened was about 2 weeks, about a week and a half. No, about 2 weeks ago, I had to go to the ER and get checked out, and they threw an IV in me and, made sure I did a CAT scan or whatever, the MRI was, a CAT scan? CT scan. Make sure my brain was all right. Amazing. It was all right. Can you believe it? And so that's really been my hindrance, the bane of my existence for the last 3 or 4 months, is trying to get a handle on this whole blood pressure thing. It's been a real pain in the ass. It seems to be going in the right direction now. Things are starting to calmed down, which is fantastic. And then I got sick a week and a half ago. I got a really doozy of a head cold, so that kicked my ass too. So it was kind of double. And now my wife's got it, and my daughter's got a little bit of it too. So it's going around. So Lord Thoth, I sympathize. I know what it's like. Yes, thanks, Trevor. I know. Sorry, man. It's been a couple of pretty crappy couple of weeks. I also got sick recently, and when I got better, I got an ear. Doesn't that suck? You get better from one thing, and then boom, that's not fun. Toronto Graham says, "Whoa, take care." Yeah, I'm trying to take care of myself. I am trying. Let's keep her going. Let's see what else we got here. Another 9-8, a lot of 9-8s. This one is Victor Garduno art book number 2, authenticated signature. Really awesome Transformer. I guess it's Transformers, right? Doesn't really say. Is Commander of the Gods Metal AP edition. Pretty sick. I'll try to. There you go. Look at that. Very nice. Very cool. We got 2 of those actually. Got 2 9/8s. We got this one, and I got another one here. I won't bother taking it out because they're identical. They're identical, so I won't bother taking it out. And then we also have. We got some J. Scott Campbell coming back. It looks like that's a nice sign. J. Scott Campbell 606 ASM in a 9.4. Nice signing in red there with the nice J. Scott Campbell label. Pretty cool. Night Optimist. Thank you, Ranger Taurus. I appreciate that. I figured it was a Transformer. We got a few more signature series items here. What else we have? We have another J. Scott Campbell. Oh, I love this one. This is with the Black Cat in milk, and this is the foil edition. You can hardly see it there. It's hard to see. Come on, there we go. And that's in a 9.8. J. Scott Campbell signed. And then another one in a 9.6 here. Whoa, look at that. Like, I see a defect on this right off the bat. Check this out. You're going to see, I think right there. See it? By my face, right there. Look at that. You know, Greg called me up the other day. Greg sent in some cards. A card for Joe Jusko to sign. And he was happy that, you know, Charlo works on our cards, and he was able to fix the problems with the card that Greg had noticed on the card. That's why he sent it to us to kind of, you know, do some work on it. He was happy with the results. When he got the card back, he noticed more damage on the card, damage that wasn't there. Now, of course, we are not going to add damage to the card. We're going to make it as beautiful as possible, make these comics as beautiful as possible before they go. But yeah, you know, when these things get there, we're not there with the books. We're not safeguarding them. You know, even when we're doing Fan Expo, you know, when I'm at Fan Expo personally, I'm very cognizant that these books are very fragile and they can get damaged very easily. So I'm very, very is it OCD? Is it politically correct to say that? I'm very OCD over the comics, making sure they're overly protected to avoid something like that happening. But unfortunately, that happened. Now you'll notice the client also has another one here. They were identical. This one came back in 9.8. This one came back in 9.6, and I showed you the damage on this. Now, can that be fixed? It's a foil cover. And you can tell by the dent, you can tell that it was done like haphazardly. It was a careless dent. You know what I mean? It's frustrating. What can I say? Not much we can do about that. It's you know. And I say, when you send the books in, CGC makes us sign off, basically exempting them from any damage that could occur with the items when they're at their facility. You know, I guess you can't blame them. They're going through such a number of items that, you know, to ensure to guarantee that your item is going to be 100% safe. They're just not willing to do that. I guess I can understand why, but it still sucks, especially when it's your own book, right? How are the Comic Loft crew doing lately? By the way, haven't spoken to them in a while. I think he's doing pretty good. I saw Charlo yesterday. He was a bit under the weather himself. Yeah, he was fighting a bit of a head cold as well. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. Folks, have Alka-Seltzer Plus on hand just in case you feel you're coming down with something, and take immediately. It really helps a lot. There you go. Some self-help advice from David Clark. I found that as soon as I noticed something was going on, I started taking my the doctor gave me some Nasonex. So I started taking that right away, and I started using a saline spray up my schnoz. That helps a lot too. Because I started getting I got a bit of a chest, it goes from the post-nasal drip, causes an infection up here, and I got a real irritating cough. The cough sucks. It's a dry, awful cough. And what sucks about the cough is that after, a day of coughing, your head starts to throb. Every time you cough, it's all the pressure up here. And then when it's over, your ribs are sore from all the coughing, and your muscles in here and your back. It's just, you get old, it sucks. One thing, causes the other thing to hurt, that causes the other thing to hurt. It's not good. Day 4 of the cold. Yeah, Dan, you take care of yourself, pal. You take care of yourself. All right. Alita Battle Angel. We got a few of these in here. We got a 9-4. And we got another 9-4. So 2 Alita Battle Angels, both 9-4s. We got an old ASM book coming here. I think it's a number 50, actually. Let's have a look. It is ASM 50. With a Stanley signature, authenticated. Look at this, guys. 4.0. Nice. The stickers suck. What were they thinking? Those Stanley authentication stickers, they used to stick on right in the freaking, oh my gosh. Terrible. Anyways, Stanley authenticated. And then we have here also an X-Men number 1. Yeah, it's an X-Men number 1. Another Stanley authentic. That was wow, that was fast. That came back pretty quick. Another X-Men number 1, Stanley sign. I think X-Men number 1 is one of the most frequent key big time books we've been getting this year. I've seen a lot of X-Men number 1s this year. Last year was Amazing Spider-Man number 1. This year, and the year before that, it was Daredevil number 1. This year, I'm seeing a lot of X-Men number 1. All right, a bunch of Walking Dead now. Ranger Thomas says, if you or Comic Loft collect Transformers, what are your thoughts on the new age of the Primes Bruticus? I do not collect, so I cannot speak to it, and I don't know if Charlo does or not. So I can't speak to that. Sorry, Ranger. We have a Walking Dead, number 9, Death of Donna, first appearance of Otis, and it's at 9.6. We got a Berserker number 1, Keanu Reeves, in a 9.8. A bunch of 9.8s here, guys. Pretty cool. We had 2 boxes, by the way, today. I had to take a few of these books out of here for another client who came. So I'm not showing off their books, obviously, but we have Walking Dead 11, Death of Arnold and Lacey Green. 9.8. So a lot of early Walking Dead books here in a 9.8. David, those small Stanley Sigs look so fake. Well, apparently they're not. I think, there was a time when he actually signed a little bit differently. He didn't use big, fat, thick pens. But let's face it, not a very difficult signature to forge. We got a Walking Dead 100 and a 9.8. And then another Walking Dead 27, first appearance of the Governor, and a 9.8. Then we got a Walking Dead 12 and a 9.4. We got a giant size X-Men, another one I've been seeing a lot of. A giant size X-Men number 1 and a 6.5. Nice book. More Walking Dead here. Yeah, we got some more. We got a Walking Dead number 19, first appearance of Michonne in 9.2. Walking Dead number 10, first appearance of Herschel, 9.8. Walking Dead number 7, first appearance of Tyrese, Julie, and Chris. Lori is pregnant, 9.6. And then at number 5, Death of Amy, a 9.4. Very cool. That's box number 1, my friends. So let me tell you what's been going on. Hi, Spartacus. Merry Christmas. Dave, Merry Christmas to you as well. Brouhaha, how's it going? Been a while. All right, let me talk to you about PSA first of all, because that's the biggest news. So first, okay. So as you all know, PSA opened up their Canadian branch in Mississauga. I was supposed to meet up with the manager of that facility last week. Again, I was so sick. The day we were going to meet for lunch, I was so sick. I felt like absolute garbage. I had to call and cancel. So we're going to meet in the new year. But I don't know about you guys, but I was under the impression that this new location was everything. It wasn't just cards. It was comics, cards, Funko Pops, you name it, they'll take it. No. So I was wrong. The Mississauga location for PSA is strict for the time being is strictly cards, trading cards, Pokemon cards, hockey cards, baseball cards, basketball cards, cards, no comics, no magazines, no Funko Pops, no nothing. They will not do it. So that kind of threw me for a loop, because as you probably, if you were watching me for any length of time, you know that the comics and magazines that were coming back from PSA, and I was sending them directly to PSA in California, was extremely expensive. That was having a real problem with the expense. I tried to send cards directly to PSA, and they gave me that permission. I could bypass PSA Canada and go straight to California. And my reasoning for this was, as always, and I've talked about this before in the show, my reasoning for this was to avoid any potential, just to avoid any more middlemen. I didn't want anybody else involved. They go from me to there, back to me, not from me to somewhere else. You know, I just didn't want to incorporate PSA Canada. I didn't. Now, if they were being graded here, different story, but there weren't. PSA Canada is basically a conduit to get the stuff to PSA in California. Well, I thought I could do that myself, and it worked, but a whole litany of problems. They were sending the parcels back the wrong tier, service tier, FedEx. They were coming back like one card would cost me $140 for one card. They wouldn't combine shipping for me. They said they would and they couldn't. It was like a big rigmarole. Long story short, I have a batch of cards there right now that I'm really nervous about, because if they start shipping those back individually again, it's going to cost me a small fortune. So the first batch of cards I sent to PSA, they're all back now, and they're all with their owners except for Travis's. But for the most part, everybody's got their stuff back. The shipping was more than I would have liked. So I figured out what I'm going to do with the card. The cards are going to have to go to PSA Canada. So I'm going to go through PSA Canada. I've talked to Brad over there, talked to PSA in California, and that's the only way it can be done. It's the only way it can economically be done. Now, as for comics and magazines, I from my understanding, and that's what they told me, I'm the only dealer in Canada that's allowed to send comics directly to PSA. Okay. I think you can send your own stuff. If you've got an account, I think you can send your own stuff to them. But as far as being a dealer, I'm the only one. They will not combine tiers. Now, where CGC combines tiers for me and it makes things more economical, PSA won't do it. They said, no, sir, Kevin, if you're sending me one modern and two vintage, 3 books, that's 2 different parcels. It just doesn't work. I said, guys, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. No one can afford that. And the only way it's going to work is if I try to do the same thing with PSA that I do with CGC. All this stuff comes back to me first, and I sort it and ship it out if I need to, or people can pick up at my shop. It's not working with PSA. They're not willing to combine tiers. So the only way I'm going to send stuff to PSA, and I still will send stuff to PSA for you if you want me to. The only difference is you are responsible for the actual shipping costs coming back from PSA. What does that mean? It means that if you give me 5 modern books, I'm going to send those 5 modern books, and it's going to be cheap to send them there because my rates to there are pretty good. I'm going to ship them to PSA for you. When PSA is done grading them, they're not going to come back to me. They're going directly back to you. Whether you're in the United States or in Canada, they're going right back to you. And whatever they charge, they charge. So they are going to use, and it's using their in-house FedEx. That's it. I'm no longer involved at that point. Um, it'll be faster than sending them back to me, but you are on the hook for the actual shipping charges. So if you're sending one book, it's probably not worth it's probably not going to be unless it's a very big book, it's probably not worth doing. When it comes to comic books, PSA can put up to 10 comics into one box per tier. So if you send 8 modern and 2 of a different tier, they're not going to put them in one box. That's the caveat. And that's the problem I was having. But if you really, 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 really want PSA graded, your book's graded by them through me, that's how it's going to be done. They're going to go to PSA, and then PSA is going to ship them to you directly, and you will be on the hook. And I'll charge you the actual shipping charge. I'll know what the shipping charge is. When I fill out the forms, I know what that is, and I'll let you know what that is. And that's pretty much it. I think it's going to slow things down. I really wish they could have, combined the tiers for us. That would have been a lot more economical, and I think I could have given you guys a better deal on the shipping. But unfortunately, they're not willing to do that. So at this point, that's that. Now, that said, it is their intention to eventually, I believe, start accepting magazines and comics at Toronto as well. In which case, it should fix the problem later on. But I can't see that happening for at least a year. At least a year. It could be longer. Who knows? Let's see what you guys are saying. Progressive says, what do you think the difference in value of a book would be between a PSA graded book? I don't know. I mean, you got to watch guys like Swaggelhaus or whatever. Those guys have been doing a lot of videos on that. When it comes to modern stuff, I don't think there's much of a difference, but I've had other clients of mine look at high value books, like big books. Like, for example, one guy had a Hulk 181 and he had a Werewolf by Night 32 high grade. And he noticed that the PSA books were selling slightly less than CGC. That's what he told me. Now, I've done no research on that. I can't tell you that for sure myself, but that's what he told me. So I don't know. I think it really comes down to whether you like their slab more than CGC. If you're a PSA fan, you want your stuff done by PSA. I don't think the values are going to be that off, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Any magazine size comics today? No, not today, I'm afraid. And how are you, by the way? What sounds like a scam? What sounds like a scam? I'm not sure what you mean. Hoping for WoW Comics 1, Weird Terror 3 and 4, Bill Hickok, Canadian Variant Grand Slam, and 3 Aces 46. I don't know if they're in here. I don't think they are. Yeah, I don't think they are. Kaboom, how's it going? Good to see you. And Gordo, thanks, buddy. Yeah, it's going well. Thank you. It's going well. Like, these are growing pains, right? But it's also the Canadian market being an afterthought yet again. And that's very frustrating for me. I've been pleading with both CGC and even PSA before they even launched. I said, guys, let us grade the books in Canada. Let the comics be graded in Canada. Let us not have to send our books south of the border anymore. Canadians hate sending their books south of the border with all the rigmarole, customs, potential problems at the border now, especially. People are very hesitant, and they hear it and they don't really want to do anything about it. That's all I can tell you. So that's from my experience. They're resistant to it. They don't want stuff being graded here. They want all their stuff being graded south. If it's for consistency or what have you, I don't know, but that's just the way they feel. Kaboom says, with all my research, CGC still sells over PSA. That's why I had Comic Doc do a 75 book and send all to CGC. Thanks, Kaboom. Yeah, I mean, you're not alone, right? You're not alone. And I'm going to tell you, I had a stack of books ready for PSA, and I had them on hold because of all this. I don't want to send books there. Whoop, out of focus there. I didn't want to send books there and then you guys had to give a really big exorbitant bill for shipping, and that happened with the cards. I didn't want to do that again. And I love PSA. The people at PSA are really nice. I get along with all of them, but look at when it comes down to the bottom dollar, people aren't going to pay tons more for a service if it's not really giving them anything more. You know, you can be mad at CGC, and I got a lot of clients who can't stand CGC for whatever reason, but they're still sending them to CGC over PSA. Why? Well, when it comes down to it, the uncertainty of the shipping, the cost of the shipping is really detrimental, and it skews their decision making. Of course, it does. You know, money is tight for everybody, and sending books in for grading, whether it's PSA or CGC, it's expensive. You know, and the last thing we need is a surprise fee. That first batch of cards I sent down, and even the second batch I have down there right now, like I said, I'm really nervous about that. I lost money. Like, as a dealer, I'm going to tell you straight up, I've danced with PSA now for 7 months, and I've lost money. What do you mean you've lost money? I've lost money. I've made no money doing PSA whatsoever. I've lost time, and I've lost money. Am I willing to continue doing that? Not for long. Not for long. I mean, I want to give my clients the service they want, right? I want to do that. I want to offer it, but if it doesn't make any sense, if I'm not making any money doing it, because all the time I'm putting into it, if I'm actually losing money, which I kind of did, like even that initial what do you call it, the pre-launch thing, I lost. I should have lost a penny. I was giving a discount to clients. In the end, the shipping cost me more than I anticipated, and I ended up eating a bit of that shipping myself. So I actually paid out money to cover the shipping for people. And people were still complaining, and they should, because it was expensive. They were complaining about the cost, but because it was a new thing, I said, okay, well, it's a price of doing business. I don't mind. I'll pay it out, whatever. Just, you know, again, I want to try it out. But you know, how long will I do that for? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Especially, I want to grow PSA comics out here, but I can't. My hands are tied. They don't want to endorse me officially, and I don't blame them. They don't know who I am, so why would they endorse me officially? As a place to go to, as an official place to submit stuff, but it is what it is. Plus, I'm a presser, right? That's my first line of business, is pressing. CGC or PSA isn't going to tell people to come to me because I'm pressing, and they're pressing too. They want the pressing dog. They don't want me to do the pressing. They want to do the pressing. So there's a bit of a conflict there. So I don't blame them, right? But I mean, if you need to get into a market and you've got someone who's willing to help you, I don't know why they wouldn't want to, but whatever. What do I know? Hoping that, so there is one magazine, but I don't know who this belongs to. This is what the hell? Here's a TMNT #1 third printing right here. I'm not sure if that's yours or not, because I don't know who's here. But look at this smear. Dirt. There's like some dirt or something on there. It's not scratched. It's like a scuffy dirt. Yeah, it's like dirt. I think. Or is that a scratch? I can't tell. I can't tell if it's a scratch. If this is, I may have to send this back. No, it's not ink. It's like and I don't have any. Let's see. Good old fashioned. I want to see if it comes off. No, that's a scuff. You see, that really angers me. That's a scuff there. And this box has been here more than 14 days. So I've been sick like a dog. So I'm going to have to call them. Now, a few weeks ago, Carlos had a big scuff on there. And I sent it back, and I paid out of my own pocket to have it reslabbed because it was beyond the 14 days. Carlo waited a long time to pick it up. And I said, okay, I'll send it back. I'll pay for it. And I did. They sent it back, charged me to reslab it, and they didn't do a damn thing. And so I'm going to send this one back too, it looks like. Anyways, I'm going to keep this one aside. I'll keep this aside. What the heck was that? Oh. It's actually a scuff. I can tell it's a scuff because look at the bag. The bag actually has a rip in it. That's the exact same problem the other one had. I'm going to call and complain about that one. All right, let's keep going here, guys. Toronto Graham, are you at the show this weekend? Yes, I am. Guys, I'm going to be at the Toronto Comic Book Show. I wasn't planning on it, to be quite honest, but when I found it was on a Saturday, I like that. So I'll be at the Toronto Comic Book Show this Saturday from 12 until 6 p.m. I am not bringing comics with me to the show to give back, guys. I can't do it. I can't do it. There's one guy I said I would. And that's all I can do. I'm by myself, right? I can't bring loads of books to the show because I can't guarantee their safety. And if I bring stuff to the show and they get damaged, then what? Then you're going to want me to replace them again. So I have not brought books to the show to give back in years because I require someone to help me, and I'm by myself, so I can't. I just can't. I can arrange to ship them to you always, and you can always come to the shop. But bringing books to the show is not something I've done in a very, very long time. I'm taking books with me, and that's pretty much it. And they're very heavy, guys. I'm old. I can't lug these boxes. That's why I don't sell at these shows, because I don't want to lug long boxes. I'm too old for that. Did you hear me earlier? Blood pressure too high. I'm not doing that anymore. Gord says it's worth more because it has comic talk. Yeah, that's kind of gross. I know I should have done that, but I'll wash it. It's going back to CGC anyways. Can't submit from CND. You must physically be in US and use someone's printer computer. Can't submit from Spartacus. What are you talking about? You can't submit from Canada? Is that what you mean? Are you saying that as a Canadian, you cannot submit to the PSA website for comic books? Is that what you're saying? Confirm that, please. With all the books I have you work on, we need to do a Comic Doc Reveal Kaboom Club book show. I'll need to show up on your stream. Yeah, by all means. Your first batch is there. Your other batch is ready to go once you give me the word. Yeah. Okay, Spartacus. Yeah, no, I get that. So there you go then. So I guess Canadians are not permitted to submit anything right now unless you go through a dealer or PSA Canada, which you can do for cards. But for comics, I have access to the website. I can submit. I'm submitting stuff to PSA next week, actually. Once Xmas is over, I've got a few I got to send, but I don't have a ton. I had a lot, but as soon as I told them about the shipping, everyone said, nope, go to CGC. I had about 15 orders in kind of in the wings waiting to go. And all but one or two said, move that over to CGC because they didn't want to pay the shipping. I explained that to PSA. I go, no one's going to do this, guys. It's too expensive. So anyways, it is. If you guys are dead set on using PSA, I can submit the PSA for you. Not a problem. My advice to you though is when you're compiling your order is to make sure you're sending like books. So, send all moderns or all vintage or all high value and keep the tiers consistent so you can maximize the amount of books they put in their box, which is 10. Okay. That's what I'd recommend. Dave is talking about Super Beats. I heard about Super Beats. I should start taking some kind of supplement. Right now, my blood pressure is actually not too bad, so I'm not too worried about it. But I probably should. I'm getting back to the gym in January as well too. Yes, PSA website won't let you fill. Yeah, you have to have the right. Yeah, you're right. They won't just let anybody into their website. They're very sticky about that. And again, I have access to it right now as a dealer. Don't know for how long. I don't think they're going to be very happy with the amount of books I'm going to be sending them because there won't be many. Because again, unless somebody is really eager from Canada to send their stuff in, I don't know what else I can do. My hands are tied. The shipping is really an issue. It's the wait time similar between, about the same, not much different. All right, guys, let's keep it going here. Got another box to share with you. We got a Star Wars number 42 and a 9.0. And then we have a Punisher limited series number 1, Canadian price variant, in a 9.2. We have a secret. Oh my God, we have 2 of these in this box. We had a Secret Wars 8, a 9.8 direct. I had a 9.8 newsstand as well. We've got a Blue Monday signed by J. Scott Campbell and an 8.0. This has some staining or something, if I remember. Yeah, this had little red, this had little orange staining dots on it. Looks a lot better, but unfortunately, little stains probably kept the grade down a little bit. We have a She-Hulk number 1 in a 9.6. We have another Hulk 271 in a 9.6 as well. First Rocket Raccoon in comic books. We have a 9.4 newsstand copy of Secret Wars 8. Star Wars 41, Part 3 of The Empire Strikes Back, with that classic Millennium Falcon cover. We had 2 of them in this box. The other one's back at the shop, but yeah, pretty neat. We got a Coyote the Heat, number 1. First Todd McFarlane published book. This would have been a good one to get signed in a 9.8. And I'm sure you all know, everybody who was on my list to have Todd McFarlane books signed, they all went to CGC. They're all there right now. They arrived before they announced that 1,000 extra spots. They contacted some of the dealers. I was one of them, and I got my books out to them really fast. The day that they put out that notice, my books were already there. We got a Transformers number 80 in 9.4. That's a newsstand as well, right there. Got a few Transformers here. We got number 3 in a 9.2. X-Men 141 in a 9.6. Newsstand copy. The Tick number 1 in a 9.0. We got a Star Wars number 1 in a 9.0. And a Star Wars 42 in a 9.6. We got a Mark Spears Monsters number 2, Bird City Comics exclusive in a 9.8. Wizard of Oz swipe there. And then last one in this batch is a ASM 312 Green Goblin, Todd McFarlane, and a 9.8. There you go. Yeah, another, talking about blood pressure. CGC likes to help increase my blood pressure. I don't track every single box. There's too many. When you go to my let me show you right now. Don't go anywhere. I'll show you what's happened recently. Let me just call up my CGC site here. Sign in, submission tracking. Let me show you. So check this out. Let me share the screen with you. Share screen. No, not that. There we go. All right. So this is my CGC. These are all the books I've got there, guys. I mean, tons and tons and tons and tons of books, like tons and tons. It's never ending. But these are all the ones that have been sitting there for quite a while. And there's more that haven't even registered yet. Like I'm on page 1 here at the very top. There's probably another 100 books that haven't even been unboxed yet. But the other day, I think is it that one? Yeah, I think it was that. The other day, I noticed these 2 high-value books. Check these out. Really nice books. Werewolf by Night 32 in a 9.2 and a Batman Adventures 12 in a 9.8. Nice, eh? Boy, I wish those were my books. So I go back and I say, okay, I noticed they'd shipped. And so what I do is I can click on this little ship button here and it'll take me to FedEx. And you'll notice something. I think you're still there, right? Can you guys see that I'm on are you in the FedEx site with me right now? I can't tell if you're not. If you are, let me just make sure you're on the right page with me here. No, you're not. Okay, hold on. So let me go to the other site. So I went to the FedEx page. Where is it? So I go to the FedEx page, and this is what I see. Hold on. FedEx. So yeah, I go there and I see, now you'll notice here, it says Sarasota and it says Sarasota here, right? But it didn't say Sarasota there. It should say Oshawa. It should say where I'm located. But what happened was it said Niagara Falls, New York. And I'm like, what the hell? And I noticed this last, I think Wednesday or Thursday, I noticed it. So I contacted their customer service. It took them 2 days to finally put in a, to have it kind of return to sender type thing, because address corrected, because the shipping, they sent it to the wrong friggin' place, guys. They sent it to the wrong bloody place. So very frustrating. How do I get rid of this? No, I don't want that. I want this. Hold on. There we go. They send it to the wrong place. Now, they don't usually do this. It's very rare where CGC will send a box of 25 of my books to the wrong address, but they did this time. And I just happened to be looking. If I checked it today, that would have been delivered to somebody. I don't know who. The last time that happened, if you recall, it was an X-Men #1 that went to Comic Link. And that's okay, because I know the guys at Comic Link, and I contacted them and they were able to send the book back to CGC for me. But this is a full box, including a Batman Adventures, first Harlequin, 9.8, Werewolf by Night 32, 9.2. It also had a giant size X-Men #1 and a 6.5. Had a lot of nice books in there. Regardless, they were $5 books. They were sending them to the wrong address. So I noticed it and I made a comment. And I was kind of irritated again, because when that happens, I want the world to stop and I want them to fix it immediately. I had to wait like 24 hours to get word back that the shipping department had put a call into FedEx to have it changed. That was kind of shitty. That doesn't help my blood pressure much when that kind of nonsense happens. And I can't understand why that happens. Like, all my paperwork is very clear. Anyways, that's my relationship with CGC. And then fortunately, that's my most recent happening with them. And every time that happens, every time, the Todd McFarlane thing where they pull out, they fix the problem, but not before a hell lot of stress was caused. They fixed this problem, it looks like, but not before a lot of stress was caused. Every time it happens, it makes me reconsider even doing grading, because it's really, really a thankless job. And not so much thankless from you guys, thankless from the people that I'm paying to do the grading. I'm talking about CGC, right? And they can apologize if the cows come home, but regardless, is the damage is already done. The stress you've caused me is done. It was funny when I was talking to the customer service reps over there, during the Signature Series debacle with Todd McFarlane. And I call it a debacle. I still think it wasn't handled right at all. But regardless, I said to them, I said, if you ask my family, my kids, my wife, and my children what I complain about the most, or the thing that causes me the most stress and hardship in running this business, they will say without hesitation, CGC. That's what causes the most stress and pain. And that's why I really insist. I want to have better customer service communication. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have to wait for a customer service rep to call why am I waiting 24 hours to hear? I want to know, like, in 20 minutes, not 24 hours, that this is being fixed. That's all. Is that too much? Am I being unreasonable? I don't know. Maybe I am. But anyways, human error. Yeah, human error. It's always human error. Of course it is. But regardless, mistakes happen. But let's keep them down, right? Hey, Kevin, Merry Christmas. Hope you're doing well. Joey Lane, you too, my friend. Hope you're doing well. And Merry Christmas to you as well, and your families. Say hi to your mom and dad. Hope you guys are having a good holiday, and I hope Santa Claus is good to you all. Guys, that's it for me. I am going to be taking off. I'll be back at some point. I have another box that just arrived today. I just didn't want to do 3 boxes. 2 is enough for me. I'll do another box soon. Again, I will be at the Toronto Comic Book Show this Saturday from 12 p.m. until 6 p.m. doing free pre-screening of your comic books, magazines, and cards. I'll be taking submissions at the show, and at the show only, offering this special 20% off all submissions that come in at the Toronto Comic Book Show this Saturday, and 40% off any conservation work you might want. That could be tear seals, it could be staple repairs, it could be deacidification, page deacidification, it could be light therapy. If you want any of those specialized conservation work done, 40% off. And that's all being done not by this bum, but by our actual in-house paper conservator, Nupur. It ain't me, it's her. She'll be doing that work. All right, here we go. Tyler, great informative first stream for me. Oh, good. Hope I didn't go off too much on you there, Tyler. Was in store a few days ago with Absolute. Oh, okay, good to see you. That's right. For the in-house, can't wait for them to be down here the line. Merry Christmas, you too, Tyler. Yes, those are done and ready to go, I believe. I'm sending another shipment to CGC probably next week. I've got and by the way, all the books are at the shop right now. Should be enjoying CGC's current pricing. All the books that are coming in like from this weekend on, I can't guarantee that. It's probably, in fact, you're probably not going to, you're going to have the new CGC pricing. I didn't even talk about the fact that CGC is putting their prices up in January. Gordo, you too, my friend. Have a great Christmas to you, family, and to you. Kaboom, you have great holiday season as well. Enjoy your vacation. And again, guys, if you're in Toronto this weekend, come by and see me. The Comic Doctor shop will be closed this Saturday, but Charlo will be there at the Comic Loft, and he'll be there and he'll be able to take your submissions at the shop if you want to drop things off there, and if you want to if you want to pick stuff up, do your appointments as per usual, and I'll make sure the stuff is at the shop with Charlo for you to pick up. And I'm going to go one step further with my discounts. If this Saturday, it's not fair. If you're at the show, I'll do the discounts at the show or at the shop. So if you drop off books this Saturday in Oshawa as well, 20% off for pressing and cleaning, 40% off for conservation at the shop this Saturday or at the Toronto Comic Book Show. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody. Give me all those great well wishes. Same goes to you guys. Happy Christmas, guys. Happy New Year. Well, I'll say Happy Christmas. I'll be back before the new year starts. Take care, everybody. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Later.